Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome to Movies and Music with AJ. My name's AJ, thanks for watching. And today we're here with another movie reaction. We're watching Stand By Me on its 35th anniversary. It came out this month, back in 1986. I know that it's directed by Rob Reiner. You know, I haven't seen many of his films. In fact, I think the only Rob Reiner film that I've watched is When Harry Met Sally. And I actually just watched that for the first time back over the holidays. And it was a really good movie. I think it was really fun and it really holds up. And I know this is an adaptation of a book by Stephen King, but I don't think it's a horror story. I know he's mostly known for that, but I don't think this is a controversial statement to make, but I'm pretty sure some of his best received film adaptations are not based on his horror work. When you think of The Green Mile and The Shawshank Redemption, I'm pretty sure some of his best received film adaptations are actually dramas and not scary stories. Yeah, speaking of those two movies, I feel like I've been seeing a lot of reactions to those two films popping up. I think they're probably very reactable films. I did see Green Mile back in the day, but I've never seen The Shawshank Redemption, so I might do a reaction to that at some point. I look at the runtime and it's kind of intimidating. You know, this whole channel is a one-man show, so I do the editing of it, of all the videos, and so when I see the movie's over 2 hours long, I'm just like, oh man, I could either, do a 3-hour movie or I could do two 1.5-hour movies. It's just in terms of just efficiency, I'm always just leaning towards the hour-and-a-half movie. But yeah, I would love to react to Shawshank Redemption at some point. Yeah, beyond that, I don't know much more about the film. I know it's a group of 4 young kids, and I think it's River Phoenix, right? Rest in peace. Corey Feldman, I believe, and one young Jerry O'Connell. And the only reason I know about Jerry O'Connell is because back in the 90s, he was on a show called Sliders. I don't know if y'all remember Sliders, and no, it's not about small hamburgers. This show was the perfect storm if you were a sci-fi nerd growing up in the 90s. Basically, it was about interdimensional time travel. It's like this professor and his college students who discover a machine that lets you hop between dimensions, but they end up getting lost basically in the multiverse, and they don't have a way of getting home, so they're just hopping from dimension to dimension and encountering all kinds of sci-fi weirdness along the way. And it's just the perfect premise for this sort of thing, because every episode, every dimension can be a totally different sci-fi concept. So there was a Planet of the Apes situation, there was a dinosaur dimension. So yeah, I just remember really loving that show as a kid. Yeah, I haven't probably thought of that show in 20 years. I have no idea if it holds up, so don't go running out after this video and watch it and then come back and say that show was garbage. Why were you recommending it? I'm sorry, I'm just saying I really loved it as a kid, but I would love to revisit it also. I would be interested to see how it holds up. So yeah, I'm interested to see what he's going to be like in this movie. I'm sure it's a very different role and a very different film. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. This is going to be my reaction to Stand By Me from 1986, directed by Rob Reiner. Let's go. What's this guy going to do? Looks like he's thinking about something.
I was 12 going on 13 the first time I saw a dead human being.
Okay.
It happened in the summer of 1959.
So we got a flashback / period piece type of story. Okay.
I was living in a small town in Oregon called Castle Rock. There were only 1,281 people, but to me, it was the whole world.
Man, that old school rock and roll from the late 50s, early 60s. It's interesting, what a sea change the British invasion was. I love the Beatles, they're one of my favorite bands. But it's interesting to think what would have happened with American music if they'd never come along, or if Brit rock had never had the impact on the States that it did.
Come on, man, deal.
Teddy Duchamp was the craziest guy we hung around with. His dad was given to fits of rage. One time he held Teddy's ear to a stove and almost burned it off.
Oh.
You four-eyed pile of shit. A pile of shit has 1,000 eyes.
Somehow that makes sense. I love that was such a common insult for people with glasses. 4 eyes. Do kids still get made fun of for glasses? I feel like around the 2000s, people just gave up and were like, glasses just became so normalized by that point.
Wait till you hear this. You won't believe it. It's unbelievable. Let me catch my breath. What is it, man? Okay, great. You won't believe this. Sincerely, I ran all the way. I knew you guys.
So what are you pissing and moaning about, Ferno?
You guys want to go see a dead body?
That's a question.
We had all followed the Ray Brower story very closely because he was a kid our age. 3 days before, he had gone out to pick blueberries, and nobody'd seen him since.
You don't go squawking to the cops after you boosted a car, you idiot. They're gonna want to know how the hell we got way out on Back Harlow Road.
Jesus Christ, man. If they would have known you were under there, they would have killed you. You must have started walking on the train tracks and just followed them the whole way.
And then after dark, train must have come along. I'll smacko.
Corey Feldman rocking the Buddy Holly look.
I bet you anything that if we find him, we'll get our pictures in the paper.
Yeah, we can even be on TV.
Sure.
We'll be heroes.
Yeah.
Probably pin a medal on you, Vern.
Yeah, you think so?
Vern, come on, Bruno. Come on, Bruno.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Yes.
I wanted to share my friend's enthusiasm, but I couldn't. That summer at home, I had become the invisible boy.
Mom, you know what my canteen is?
Jeez, what is with this lady and her 1,000-yard stare?
It's in Danny's room.
In April, my older brother Dennis had been killed in a Jeep accident.
Well, that'll do it. Damn. A lot of death in this film. That's John Cusack?
This, my friend.
That is John Cusack.
This is your Yankee cap.
No, this is your Yankee cap. Why can't you have friends like Denny's?
Dad, they're okay.
Sure they are. A thief and two thieves.
I bet this movie would pair well with The Sandlot.
It was almost noon as we set out to find the body of a dead kid named Ray Brower.
You want to see something? Sure, what? Come on, what is it?
Gun? Seems like it's gonna be a gun. Yep.
You.
Although I was thinking rifle with how long that pack is, or that blanket, whatever that is.
Jesus! Hey, who did that? Who's letting cherry bombs off out here?
You wish it was a cherry bomb. This kid's out here shooting 45s.
You knew it was loaded, you red end! Shit, Gordy, she thought it was firecrackers. I don't care, that was a mean trick, Chris. Hey, Gordy, I didn't know it was loaded. Honest. You swear?
These kids are so earnest.
Yeah, I swear. Pinky swear.
It's kind of refreshing, actually, like, how interested they are in, like they care about each other, you know? In that sense of, like, he doesn't want his friend to be mad at him or scared of the situation. It's just, like, he genuinely cares what his friend thinks, so he, like, is sincerely apologizing to him.
Your brother's not very polite, Eyeball.
Now, Christopher, I know you didn't mean to insult my friend.
I know I didn't mean to insult me.
Before he took down bad guys for the counterterrorism unit, Jack Bauer was the town bully.
I brought a comb.
What do we need a comb for?
Well, if we get on TV, we want to look good, don't we?
Okay.
A lot of thinking, Vern.
I feel like you need a Vern in every group, you know? Really thinking down the road.
If we follow the tracks all the way into Harlow, it'd be about 20 miles.
I feel like the one cardinal rule of filmmaking nowadays is do not film on train tracks. Like, I'm gonna hope that this was a closed set and they'd coordinated with everybody to make sure no trains were coming through. You have to really do a lot of coordinating and double, triple, quadruple checking all your safety protocols if you're gonna put actors on a train track, because you just never know when a train's gonna come through.
A night without armor in a savage land.
I love a good super wide establishing shot like that to really just show you the magnitude of the environment. Our lives can just feel so big to us, but when you zoom out that wide, you realize just how small you are in the grand scope of everything.
Why didn't you bring something?
What am I supposed to do? Think of everything? I brought the comb.
Oh, boy, you brought the comb. What do you need a comb for? You don't even have any hair.
That's a good point.
Hey! Come on, Teddy.
No. I'm gonna dodge it.
Get the hell off the tracks, Teddy. You want to get yourself killed?
Just like the beach in Normandy.
I don't think there was a train on tracks in the beach in Normandy.
Come on, man. Come on. No. Come on, guys. Come on. You're trying to kill yourself.
I don't need no babysitter.
I do, too.
No trespassing was enforced by Milo Pressman, the junkman, and his dog Chopper. A kid who had illegally scaled the junkyard fence might hear the dread cry, "Chopper, sick balls." Right now, neither the...
Can I race you? No, I don't. Oh, right to the punt, man. Come on. I'm kind of tired. Go! Oh, you're...
I got him.
We knew exactly who we were and exactly where we were going. It was grand.
wear tails. Oh, Jesus, man, that's a goocher. That's really bad. Do you remember when Clint Bracken and those guys got wiped out on Weed Hill in Durham? And they came up with a goocher just before they got into the car. And bang! They all got totaled!
Are any of them gonna die in this movie? I had not even considered that as a possibility. But they're setting up all this bad luck stuff. I wonder if one of them's gonna die.
And when I look at you, I throw up.
And then your mother goes around the corner and she licks it up.
Oh!
Let's not bring anyone's mother into this.
Ain't you done little chances, brother? Bible says in the midst of life we are in death. I lost a brother in Korea. You look like your brother, Danny. People ever tell you that?
Sometimes.
Could be some scouts at the game tomorrow.
I don't know, Pop.
Dad, can I have the potatoes?
Dennis, when you're out there tomorrow.
Pop, did you read the story that Gordy wrote? Gordy wrote a story. It was really good.
Dorothy, I don't know how
I really liked it. I thought it was great.
I want you interrupting. You see I'm talking to the boy, don't you?
Do you play football?
No.
Man, it really is like that in some small towns, isn't it? It's like, you don't play the local popular sport? Then what do you do? I mean, I played video games, read comic books, tried to draw my own comic book at one point. Had a wild imagination as a kid. Very creative, but I could not draw for crap.
Come over here! You! Come back here! Come back here! God damn it, I'll stick my dog on you!
Now he said Sick'em Boy, but what I heard was Chopper Sick Balls.
Oh, Chopper's not so bad.
Chopper was my first lesson in the vast difference between myth and reality.
Chopper's a good boy.
Come on, Choppy! Sick balls, Choppy!
Stop teasing that dog, you hear me? You little tin weasel peckerwood loony son. I know who you are. You're Teddy Duchamp. Your dad's a loony.
My father stormed the beach in Normandy.
He's crazier than a shithouse rat. No wonder you're acting the way you are.
I mean, the way he's saying it isn't the most graceful, but basically, yeah, it's like this kid acts out because of the turmoil at home. Instability breeds instability.
And all your fathers are gonna get a call from me. Except for the loony up in Tokus.
Why do you care what a fat old pile of shit like him says about your dad? He still stormed the beach at Normandy, right?
You know, I feel like you hear a lot of talk about the PTSD that soldiers in Vietnam suffered. Like, a lot of Vietnam movies, you know, deal with that. But man, you really don't hear about it with World War II.
I'm sorry if I'm spoiling everybody's good time.
It's okay, man. It's okay. I'm not sure it should be a good time. But going to see a dead kid, maybe it shouldn't be a party.
Man, this is such a sensitive and empathetic group of kids.
She's a Catholic, man. They're all like that. If you want to get laid, you gotta get yourself a Protestant.
I always felt like the stereotype was the other way around. I grew up Catholic, I can say that. And like most people who grew up Catholic, I am no longer Catholic.
So when a cigarette tastes best? After supper. Right.
I don't smoke cigarettes, but somehow intuitively that does not feel true. Like, imagine just having the residual taste of like a tuna sandwich in your mouth and then trying to smoke a cigarette. I feel like that'd be kind of gross, kind of nauseating.
What's asshole about wanting to be with your friends?
It's asshole if your friends drag you down. You hang with us, you'll just be another wise guy with shit for brains.
You think Mighty Mouse could beat up Superman? What do you?
Mighty Mouse is a cartoon. Superman is a real guy.
I remember conversations like that as a kid.
You could be a real writer someday, Gordy.
Writing. I don't want to be a writer.
That's your dad talking.
Bullshit!
Full true. I know how your dad feels about you. He doesn't give a shit about you.
Damn, these kids have some really therapeutic, hardcore conversations, man.
It's like God gave you something, man. And he said, this is what we got for you. Kids lose everything unless there's someone there to look out for them. And if your parents are too f***ed up to do it, then maybe I should.
Wow. Yeah, man, these kids go deep. If you're gonna do that, man, you gotta just sprint the whole way. There's no lollygagging trying to make it across that track. Oh, that's smart. Trying to feel, you can feel a vibration from a oncoming train. Yeah, maybe not like that. Like, I get you don't want to fall, but man, y'all gotta get across there quick. He's gonna drop his comb. Yep. The one thing he brought.
I lost the comb.
He's so sad about it. Oh, there it is.
Train! Come here!
Oh man, Jerry O'Connell's stunt double in that wide shot was a grown-ass man.
Hey, Gordo, why don't you tell us a story?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. I don't want to hear no horror stories. I'm not up for that, man.
Stephen King sure goes just super autobiographical, doesn't he?
It's about this pie eating contest. And the main guy of the story is this fat kid that nobody likes named Davy Hogan. At school, they put this sticker on his back that says wide load, and they rank him out and beat him up. The greatest revenge idea.
Young Master David Hogan. Don't pay any attention to those fools, lardass. Just Davy. Boom, baba, boom, baba.
This is gonna sound kind of wrong. Like, I don't even know how to say this properly, but do kids get made fun of for being fat anymore? Because America as a whole has just gotten bigger, and kids today are just like a lot bigger than they were back then. So I just feel like the net average weight has gone up so much that it's like almost doesn't make sense to make fun of kids for their weight. Not that it ever did, but you know what I mean? It's like people make fun of what's different from them because that separates you from the pack, and therefore you're less likely to be protected by the pack. But when the pack is mostly overweight, it just doesn't make sense to single out any one kid for that. Like, what do kids make fun of each other now for? Because I just don't see a time when kids stop making fun of each other. Not saying that any of it's right. It's just one of those, like, I feel like one of those cruel realities that kids are just learning how to push boundaries and making fun of people for stuff like their weight or like wearing glasses or any other differences like that. That's just an expression of kids learning to push boundaries and learning us versus them thinking. I don't see society becoming enlightened enough anytime soon for that to stop being a thing. How does that get expressed in the year 2021 amongst school children?
Lardass wasn't really interested in winning. What he wanted was revenge.
And our racky stacks is the best on wax. How about another double?
Slowly, a sound started to build in Lardass' stomach.
These sounds, this sound design.
Bill Travis knew it. He was 5 pies. Principal Wiggins barfed on a lumberjack that was sitting next to him. Mayor Grundy barfed on his wife's tits. Girlfriends barfed on boyfriends. Women's on barfed all over the benevolent order of antelopes. And Lardass just sat back and enjoyed what he created. Oh man, that was the best. Just the best.
Yeah.
All right. Donald's a duck. Pluto's a dog. What's Goofy? That's weird. What the hell is Goofy?
I love this conversation. I've had this exact, like, pretty much verbatim conversation.
Teddy.
Maybe not give him a gun. He's an interdimensional time-traveling scientist, not a warrior.
Should have been you, Gordon.
Are you okay?
You know what was really actually a strong decision about that funeral flashback just now? It's like usually when you see a funeral portrayed on TV or in film, it's very cinematic. There's a lot of music playing, like strings and like emotional music to try to get you to feel the sadness of the moment. Funeral scenes are often overproduced in that way, where they're relying too much on slow motion and crossfades and stuff like that. But it's just like, a funeral's just sad, and the reality is when you're at one, they're often just awkwardly and uncomfortably quiet for long stretches of time. So I like that they portrayed it in this way, you know, even though it was just a dream. In his recollection, all you hear is the uncomfortable silence.
It's the way that people think I'm a family in this town. No one even asked me if I took the milk money that time. Did you take it? Yeah, I took it. You knew I took it. Maybe I was sorry and I tried to give it back. And the money was all there. But I still got a 3-day vacation. vacation because I never showed up. Maybe the next week, old lady Simons had this brand new suit on when she came to school. So let's just say that I stole the milk money, but old lady Simons stole it back from me. Anyway, she saw her chance and she took it. I was the stupid one for even trying to give it back. I never thought the teacher just wishing that I could go someplace where nobody knows me.
Oh, hi, Bambi. That deer's giving him side eye. It's just like, it's hell of a deer close up.
Teddy,
Yeah?
this is the back Harlow Road. There he is! I see him! Look! Look, over
That was
there!
quick.
I see him! I see him!
None of us could breathe. Somewhere under those bushes was the rest of Ray Brower. The kid wasn't sick. The kid wasn't sleeping. The kid was dead.
Let's look for some long branches. We'll build him a stretcher. Why did you have to die? Why did Denny have to die? Why? It should have been me. Don't say that, man. You're gonna be a great writer someday, Gordy. You might even write about us guys if you ever get hard up for material.
What the f do you know about this? Some bitch!
You get away, man. We found him. We got dibs.
We better start running, eyeball. They got dibs. You guys have two choices. You either leave quietly, we take the body. Or you stay, we beat the shit out of you. We take the body.
Why don't you go home and f your mother some more?
Oh, jeez.
You're dead.
Forgot about the gun. It's a literal Chekhov's gun situation.
You're not taking him. Nobody's taking him.
Trigger discipline, kid, though. Take your finger off that
Okay,
trigger.
just give me the... You must have at least some of your brother's good sense.
Yeah. Invoke that if you're trying to get him to put the gun down, right?
What are you gonna do, shoot us all?
Anyways,
Just you.
just you.
Yep.
We're gonna get you for this.
That just you line was pretty cold, though.
We're gonna take him.
No.
But we came all this way. We were supposed to be heroes.
Not this way, Teddy.
Ray Brower's body was found, but neither our gang nor their gang got the credit. In the end, we decided that an anonymous phone call was the best thing to do.
There you go.
Well, see you in school.
As time went on, we saw less and less of Teddy and Vern, until eventually they became just two more faces in the halls.
Wow.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get out of this town, am I, Corey?
You can do anything you want, man. I'll see you.
Not if I see you first.
He went on to college and eventually became a lawyer.
Wow.
Last week, he entered a fast food restaurant. Two men got into an argument. One of them pulled a knife. Chris, who had always made the best piece, tried to break it up. He was stabbed in the throat. He died almost instantly.
Damn. Not exactly the tone I expected, but some truth in that.
When the night
And they end it with Stand By Me. Yeah, what a good film and what a good story. The thing I really liked about it was just the performances by all the actors involved. You know, you never know when it comes to kid actors in a film, especially when they're having to pull the dramatic weight. And in this case, you know, they are the core of the movie. There's almost no adults in this movie. So to rely on four kids who are about middle school age to carry an entire film, a film that has this much thematic, weight to it. For them to pull it off, you just never know the quality of acting you're going to get with child actors, right? But yeah, they really just did a great job. I mean, obviously, Wil Wheaton and Corey Feldman and Jerry O'Connell were all great in this, comedically and dramatically. But obviously, the all-star of this movie is River Phoenix, and I'd never seen anything that he's been in. As far as I know, I don't think I've ever seen any of River Phoenix's movies, but I know that he was in his early 20s when he died. And obviously, it's always tragic and heartbreaking when somebody dies before their time, especially where drugs and addiction are involved. So yeah, I could see why it was such a tragedy, obviously. But I never knew the extent to why, his death in particular seems to have hit a lot of, fans of film particularly hard. Just based off this movie alone, it's obvious that, we lost somebody who had a lot of potential and, just somebody who had a lot of talent. There's that cliche about being an old soul. But man, it felt like in this film, River Phoenix was an old soul. You could just feel the humanity and just it was in his eyes. Such a great performance. Yeah, and the humanity of these characters overall, obviously it was in the performances, but it was also in the writing. I was talking about it during the film, these four friends, just by goofing around and busting each other's chops like kids do at that age, name calling, it's all part of it, But beyond that, just the fact that they would stop the joking in the games whenever they felt that one of them, was in a bad place, if somebody had their feelings hurt or if they just, something was going on. They would just, drop the joking and really tend to each other and really check in with each other. And they just had this sensitivity and empathy that I feel like you just don't see a lot from kids, the way kids are portrayed on film, especially when you think of this being a period piece set in the 50s. You think of that era very much as this sort of man up, guys don't feel feelings, guys, we're tough, we don't talk about our feelings, but it seems like half this movie, all these kids were doing was talking about their feelings. And that's just awesome, especially since this film was made in the 80s. I feel like that's another era that's very much an era that was very much about macho, tough guy posturing. If you want a taste of that attitude, go to my reaction on Top Gun. There was a lot of people who clearly were coming of age when that movie came out and were disappointed, to say the least, with my reaction to that film. I just thought Top Gun was just, it was a well-made film, had exciting moments to it, but overall the acting and the writing of that film was just a little bit goofy, a little bit over the top. But yeah, people got really mad about that reaction, and a lot of tough guy posturing in that reaction about people commenting how, you would have gotten beat up in the 80s. And I'm like, I got beat up in the 90s. Who cares? That's life, I'm still here. But it's just funny, the kinds of insults people were commenting towards me in that reaction. But yeah, it very much goes to that sort of tough guy posturing. So yeah, the fact that this film was made in the 80s and portrays the 50s, but still had all this warmth and humanity and sensitivity to it. I just found that so refreshing and was honestly unexpected. So anyway, I think I'll just go ahead and leave it there for today. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow along with more of my movie reactions, do this every Monday. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Signing out for today, my name is AJ. This has been Movies and Music with AJ. Thanks for watching and have a good day.